Ink-a-dink, 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 ink-a-dink. Wow! Okay, it's the day of the big game. And we're going to find out a little bit more about Basil's prediction in the superb owl. Oh, and by the way, this is the missing ingredient in the carrot juice, apparently. Apple. So here's out to the apple industry. That's part of it. You'll have to write into Basil and see if you can sneak you out Kristen's secret recipe for carrot juice that even I can drink. Okay, so back to football. Okay. On Friday night, we were talking about the superb owl, and we talked a little bit about the superb owl 48 2 years ago, when these same Denver Broncos went up against the Seattle Seahawks, and both teams apparently had bird names. Now, Basil's not keen on teams named after birds, although he kind of likes the Arizona Cardinals because their uniforms are pretty much the only color that he really readily can identify, and that's red. So, see if we're going catfish and trying to see if we can get Walter up here to do a little dusting. There's a little bit of dust on the table here. If there is, I guess there is a table underneath all this stuff somewhere. So we talked a little bit about the superb owl 48, the Denver Broncos against the Seattle Seahawks, and about how the game started out. Little subliminal advertising. The game started out with the quarterback for the Denver Broncos, Petrel Manning. And just about the first play from scrimmage, maybe it was the first play from scrimmage, they went into the shotgun formation with a quarterback. I'll tell you what, this Lil, you're right here. Yeah, we got you here, so you don't need to text us or call us. So we went into this thing about the first play of the game where they went in the shotgun formation, and Petrel Manning. Apparently there was some noise in the stadium. Amazingly enough, imagine during a sporting event there'd be some noise in a stadium. And apparently he was trying to swallow a little bird seed, which might have actually been pellets from a shotgun, and choked and blinked, and the ball was snapped, went over his head out of the end zone, and or went through his hands and out of the end zone. 2 points for Seattle, and the game was all downhill from there for the Denver Broncos. Now that left a bad taste in Basil's mouth. Not the birdseed. Basil doesn't like birdseed. But speaking of food, new corporate sponsor, Basil's new tuna of choice, Star-Kissed. And I'm going to read a little bit of the label because it's important, kids, that you read the label. It says it's got omega-3s. Okay, good. I'm sure that's a good thing. Wow. Contains fish. All right. Certified by the American Heart Association. Meets criteria for heart-healthy food. And I'm wondering how much Ca-Ching is mixed in with that criterion. The criterion. What kind of dollars and cents criteria they have for saying it's got enough it's heart healthy. Okay, so Charlie and Basil say Starkist. Is that a commercial that Harvey Fierstein? Because Kristen sees Harvey Fierstein once in a while in Stop and Shop in Ridgefield, and they've got to know each other a little bit. Kristen, in her other life, is a licensed massage therapist, and I don't think she's provided a massage treatment for Harvey Fierstein yet, but just want to throw in a good word for our producer, Kristen Schoenfeld. And so you want to go back to politics? You want to talk about politics? This is Super Bowl Sunday. We can't. This is the Iowa caucuses are behind us. We know all about that. We know who won that on both the Republican and Democratic side. We know how well both Democratic candidates and also Martin O'Malley, the other guy, did. And we know amongst the 89 Republican candidates how they split up the vote and who did what, where, when, how, and who blamed the most people for what's wrong, for what they think is wrong with America. So, and by the way, not much. Pretty good country. So, but Basil's got this guy who apparently is gaining some points with him by scratching the back of his head. And he almost had Basil on Friday night's broadcast. What? Get out of here. Okay, Basil said, well, we had a conversation about one of the players for the Carolina Panthers, running back Fozzie Whittaker. And every time I would tell Basil that Fozzie Whittaker plays for the Carolina Panthers, he's a running back, Basil would say, no. The Bears. And he also said, the Bears. So he's telling me that anybody named Fozzie cannot play for any other team other than the Chicago Bears. And we went back and forth with that for a bit. And finally, I think it was actually LFFF, Drew Carey, up in the hammock up there, along with Bill Murray and Stephen Colbert. They put I think it was LFFF, and I can't say that on television because, well, especially on Sunday morning, for goodness sakes, that's our more religious show of the two. So I think LFFF gave Basil the notion that he should pull out the line, "You're fired," and you can't fire me. I'm not going to use the comeback that everybody uses. You can't fire me. I quit. No, it's not that. You can't fire me because I know you really don't mean to fire me. And no matter what ideas, the Trump, or as we like to play with his name and jumble the letters around and come up with something like old dump rant, because he rants, yeah. And well, I don't know if he's that old, but certainly not as old as Grandpapa on the Democratic side, Bernie Sanders. But Bernie Sanders is Basil's candidate of choice, and we know Bernie's on a roll now, and New Hampshire coming up, and Bernie's going to be winning that, and making ground in Nevada, the next, which is a caucus, and the South Carolina primary after then, where Hillary Clinton had a huge lead, and that's dwindling every month. It's a little smaller as people get to know Bernie Sanders. Now the attorney for the family of Freddie Gray, who in December had endorsed Hillary Clinton for president, he had a conversation with Bernie Sanders on Dr. Martin Luther King Day, January 18th, and afterwards thought about it and came out and changed his endorsement from Hillary Clinton to Bernie Sanders. There are a lot of other prominent members of the African American community that have thought about their loyalty, and they have a lot of loyalty to Bill and Hillary Clinton. Although, if you think back to 2008, and we remember how 2008 in the South Carolina primary, then Senator Barack Obama won, and that kind of annoyed Bill Clinton, and he made a snarky remark, something to the effect of, well, even Jesse Jackson won South Carolina, and he did twice in two separate primary seasons, and that was kind of a sad, rude kind of remark, and Bill Clinton's not Basil's. Basil's not keen on Bill Clinton. He likes Hillary Clinton a lot, much more than Bill Clinton. But Basil is very much endorsing Bernie Sanders, and we're seeing a lot of important endorsements coming across to Bernie Sanders from Hillary Clinton as the season gets started, as the primary season gets started. And there's a lot of talk about, I think there are something in the neighborhood of 600, what they call superdelegates. And superdelegates are people that are party elders and just people of stature within the Democratic Party. Their voice matters. And they came out, a lot of them, early on for Hillary Clinton. And now we're seeing a lot of them beginning to rethink that position, and that's fine by us. But Basil, look, we got to talk about the superb owl. It's coming up later today. It's the sporting event of the sporting event of the sporting event of the year. All right, so Basil says, says, is it not hockey season yet? Now, come on. Now, football's a big deal. Football's, Well, look at the shape of the football. It's kind of a cool sort of spherical kind of shape. It's got whiskers on it. It's made in China. Okay. Well, maybe we can get the Wilson contract away from the Chinese. So no, we can't be spending our entire show doing advertisements. So we did an advertisement Friday night for our new corporate sponsor, Carrot Juice, and unfortunately the juicer got taken back temporarily. So all we have left are the carrots and the glass jar that Kristen makes the carrot juice in. And if you go on Basil's Facebook page, Basil BuddhaCat, and ask nicely, maybe you can get Kristen to give you the recipe for carrot juice, because this is one of the secret ingredients. Really, It really, it's a lot better than, I'm not a big fan of carrots personally, but Kristen's carrot juice concoction is very good. Very sweet, very tasty, and I think the sweetness is partly probably she sticks her finger in it, or this guy's got a foul mind. He's thinking about making Kelly when he says this, apparently. But he says, he made the remark about Megyn Kelly when she asked him some tough questions about his past mistreatment and disrespect toward women in general. And he made some ugly remark about, what did he say? Okay, I'm at a loss for it. But Basil's telling me that Donald Trump said that I'll quote him first. Said Donald Trump talked about Megyn Kelly, and he said something about she was bleeding from her nose during the debate, and probably from other places also. So he's saying, and this is pretty crude. No, I can't even. No, not gonna do it. For the Donald, we like our acronyms a little bit. So, Fordham University. Okay. So, we've got to spend a little time today talking about the big Superb Owl game coming up later today. And on Friday night, we went over some of the players, and Basil pretty much shut down the conversation by taking the name of the Carolina Panthers quarterback, Cam Newton. We flipped the letters around a little bit, juggled them around a little bit, and he came up with Catmen 1. CATMENWON exclamation point. And that pretty much was trying to put an end to the discussion. But upon further review, he looked at a couple of the Broncos' names. And of course, we talked about Petrel Manning and the fumble through the end zone on maybe it was the first play of Super Bowl 48 or Superb Owl 48, and for a safety, and it was all downhill for the Broncos after then. But he also went to the roster for the Broncos, and he came up with Cody Latimer, and very quickly said Cat Moldier, and that's pretty close. Okay, then he said, you want to say it? Okay. Said, and he's not often tough on cats. He's pretty supportive of cats, but he's saying Quentin Carter, who plays for the Broncos, and go to my cheat sheet for a second here. Yeah, Quentin Carter, and he said, look at that, Cat Quit is part of the name Quentin Carter. So Basil really is. He's hot. He's hot on the Carolina Panthers. And again, he says, not to belabor the point, but let's show a little bit more footage of the Broncos in scrimmage this week and get a real idea about how bad they can be. But before then, he wants to punctuate the discussion with, once again, Cam Newton, quarterback of the Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton. Catman won! Exclamation point. It's been Basil BuddhaCat Presents. Have a blessed Sunday, and we're going to sneak you in some footage from the Denver Broncos scrimmages during the week. And trust me, it's not very encouraging. They're pretty lousy, right? Okay, yeah, we're back. The scrimmage is over. Didn't go very long, but anyway, so this Basil's got this, and Basil is when he thinks of. Remember, we used to have Hershey's Kisses as as one of our corporate sponsors. And Basil's got this for you folks at the Hershey's Candy Company. And he says, you can sit on this, bub. Okay? Now, so they're back and forth. You know, there's been more going on during the morning hours today, Sunday. It's Super Bowl. Superb Owl Sunday. Thank you, Stephen Colbert up in the hammock along with Bill Murray and LFFF Drew Carey. Need I say more? And they've been back and forth this morning, talking interviews, and they're kind of sniping at each other. And the best one we've heard so far from the Denver Broncos side, directed at the Carolina Panthers, is in Carolina Panthers, you could derive out crap ants. And no. Crap ants. Crap ants. Okay? Like ants that you would throw in a fish tank and feed to your Denver Bronco players. Okay, but here you go. Now, apparently the Panthers are not doing a very good job sticking it to the Denver Broncos and giving them the old rib, because the best they could come up with, and Basil said, I know where you're going with this, because I've been thinking about that shoe company. I've been thinking about them because Kristen's got some of those high tops, and she sparkled them up a little bit, and they look pretty cool. Some Chuck Taylors, and Basil's thinking that we gotta think real hard about this situation now because if we could get the Converse. And Converse is apparently what they got out of Denver Broncos. That's not all the letters, but Converse, the letters Converse are in the Denver Broncos name. And says, maybe those fish didn't look too bad after all. Maybe they could be, maybe if Basil can give them a pep talk before the game, maybe they could do a little bit better this time than they did 2 years ago, and And by the way, converse, we could work with you on a sponsorship, on a corporate sponsorship. He wants to add one more thing, and apparently, okay, go ahead. Okay, I'll quote you. Basil said, said, "Go Broncos!" And that we're going to throw some other footage in coming up in a moment. Some other footage in after Basil has his pep talk with the Denver Broncos. Some more footage of their practice and their warm up before the game. And who knows? Maybe Basil could help them out a little bit. Maybe he can inspire them to win this thing. Oh, and also one more shot at our corporate sponsor, Star-Kissed Chunk Light Tuna in Water. Tell him Charlie sent you. No, tell him Basil sent you. Never mind Charlie. Basil doesn't want Charlie to get any of the Ca-Ching. And look at that. American Heart Association certified. And if you take the letters, we'll figure out some way if we take the letters in American Heart Association and jumble around some way. We'll figure out some way we can jumble them around and find money for Basil in that. I don't see any of the letters there at all, but we'll figure out a way. Have a blessed Sunday. Enjoy the game later today because Basil won't be watching the game. He says he told me he'll be watching paint dry instead because we painted one of the rooms in the house, and Basil's pretty excited about seeing how that one turns out. So Basil BuddhaCat presents. I'm David Stevenson, Basil's co-host, interpreter, and chief gopher. And on with the new practice footage. Have a blessed Sunday. See you next Friday. Bye.
They say they'd rob your grandma blind on Wall Street, fritter her away her Medicare on Wall Street. And Pharma Oil and their pet fox don't care if she lives in a box, so long as they wear platinum jocks on Wall Street, Meow.